episode of the Lisa Pezik Show. Okay, I'm so excited today because my nerdy brain and my internal heart and soul is about to be collided together on this podcast with a guest that I can't wait to introduce you to her and her to you, listener, dear listener. Because the world is shifting. Hello, we know this. We can't go back to the way we were doing things before. But for sure, I don't know if you felt this shakeup, but I really felt this shakeup in the last year of who am I and what am I actually doing on this planet? Like, that is the question that I want you to start asking yourself as we are halfway through 2021. Like, the world, time is flying and this world is moving, and you don't need another strategy. You don't need another business strategy. You don't need another marketing plan. You need to get tapped into what is deep down and inside. You need to get tapped in to what your soul is telling you. And trust me, I'm not one to be like, you need, go do, But when you listen to my guest, you're going to feel something, you're going to know something, and you're going to go and do something different. So if possible, please grab your pen, grab paper, sit down and give your undivided attention to this one if you can, because we're in for a good one. So Jen, welcome to my podcast.
I am just going to play that little opening back anytime I feel sad. It was amazing. Thank you. I'm so excited, so honored to be here. You know how much I adore you. You're like considered a sister from another mister.
Yes.
And so I'm so excited to talk to you again today. It's going to be freaking amazing.
I feel the same way about you. I just, my heart connects to those no BS people that love on you, but challenge you at the same time. Because that is what this world needs more of. We need more nurturers. We need more lovers, but we need more people to go, okay, cut the crap. Here's what you need to know. So, listener, let me tell you about Jen. So Jen Urezzio is the founder of Soul Language, a paradigm that puts tangibility to soul. So a conscious connection can be established to enable crystal clear decisions for success. Jen is also a master intuitive and the author of 2 best-selling books. Currently, she has trained over 30 practitioners worldwide in soul language. And at this time, there are over 5,000 individuals, not enough, all over the world connecting to their soul languages. And I know this is a work that you and I are going to do together, because when I met you, I went, whoa, okay. That whole thing about you don't need another business strategy, yeah, that's my own advice. Start taking that I'm going to do. So tell me, for the very type A person going, what is a soul language? What are we even talking about here today? Take us back to the beginning, please.
Okay. So I was asking those big questions, the ones that you talked about at the beginning, like, who am I? What am I doing here? I added a couple of my own, like, why am I so miserable? Why am I so angry? Where are my people? And I got some really big answers. So I was searching for, like we all do, searching for that purpose. And just everyone, I'll give you a little hint. Your purpose is not about doing. It's what you're profoundly here to experience and offer that experience to others. When you accept that that's your purpose, like that kind of category is your purpose, not the coach or the author or the teacher, you'll find the delivery systems much easier. So I talked to this woman who's like, listen, so your purpose is to be a powerful healer and teacher of service in the spotlight. And I would totally get that. I can feel that. I can feel that, like, my purpose is to connect. My purpose is to be of service to myself and others. I get that. That's amazing. What the heck do I do with that knowledge? And where are my people? Because I'm pissed. And I was speaking at a conference that she was giving. She's like, come, be on platform. There's going to be a bunch of speakers. And there wasn't. There was just me and her. And I got off the platform And there were people lined up to talk to me. And they're like, can you tell me about this? I was like, uh-huh. Can you help me with this? Uh-huh. I don't know how I can do all that, but I can. And I started to receive the answers to the very big questions at that conference when this woman sat next to me and went, we're going to be friends. And I was like, totally. But not this woman across the way, God. That's what I call my higher power, who looks really nice, but I don't really care if I ever see her again. What is that? And what I heard through, the voice in my head, that guidance, that soul speaking to you, that divinity speaking to you, is like, oh, that's soul language. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that is, but I'm going to keep asking questions. And I did for 3 months. Sat down about half an hour each day. I would ask a question and something would happen. I either get like a pop in my head, or I'd start writing something, or a book would fall off my shelf.
Ha!
Yeah, really crazy. And before long, I had this paradigm, this structure to put tangibility to soul, to define those core energies inside of us, so our humanness can have a conscious conversation with our essential nature, our soul. So the human could stop operating on pain and programming, but really truly be led by soul, that thing that inside of you that knows that all is possible, that you're whole and complete, and wants you to experience that. And so I started identifying people. There's 3 categories of soul language: your mission, how you fuel that mission, and then your soulful personality. And I talked to this woman who knew nothing about soul language. Nothing. Not the categories, not the 107 energies across those 3 categories. And I was like, okay, so one of your soul languages is partner. How does that resonate with you? She said, before I got on the phone, I sat down in meditation and asked myself, if Jennifer asked me my soul language, what would it be? She said, and I wrote down the word partner. Now, Lisa, you know me. I'm pretty straightforward,
Yes.
pretty warrior-like.
Yes.
I burst out hysterically crying. She's like, oh my God, are you okay? I was like, yeah, you really just told me I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
And I hear the same thing all the time from people. You're putting words to what I know deep down inside. Wait, I get to accept this? Wait, this is an asset? Wait, I get to really utilize this because I know it's been a superpower, but a lot of people didn't want it, or that it was not enough or too much, or that we were crazy, or any of those other things human beings do. And then I just started identifying people. And the same thing happens time and time again. Oh my God, are you in my head? Oh my God, how do you know this? Oh my God, it's spot on. And, 5 people, 10 people, okay, But when you're up to 2,000 people and they're saying all the same thing, you go, oh, okay, wait, there's something here, right?
Yes.
And so that's how soul language was born. And now I teach other master healers and coaches to use soul language within their sacred work, because I want everyone to have words to put to who they are. And I'm just one person. So we need a lot of people to spread that word.
I love it right out of the get-go how you said I wrote it down. The purpose is not in the doing.
No.
And I love how you shared that outburst, that cry, that validation that you got. I think everybody has had that one time or another where we've gone, wow, that is so unique to me and that could be my thing. And what if, and then it's like, right? And it's like, oh no, they're gonna think I'm crazy. Oh, everybody's gonna laugh at me. Ooh, what if I invest all this money and try to do this and then it bombs and I lose all this money and then I'm a failure? Ooh, what if they're gonna commit me because they think I'm crazy? All these worst case scenarios, we talk ourselves out of our greatness.
Yeah. We were talking before, and over the weekend, I watched this Netflix. Well, Warner and I were watching. He fell asleep, and I was then hooked on it. And it was how to become a tyrant. But I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. But the 7 steps of how to become a tyrant are actually 7 freaking amazing things if you use them consciously. So the first one is you have to believe Like you have to believe that you have the power to, in that case, take over the world. And I thought, oh my God, whoever wrote this is amazing, because belief, that fundamental declaring, that putting your stake in the ground is so pivotal in creating and manifesting anything. And the force inside of you that can do that is your soul. It's not your humanness. It's not your experience. It's that drive from your soul that says, no, no, no. Yes, you are powerful. Yes, you are this. Yes, we can do this. Yes, this is so. That is the ultimate superpower. But most of the people do not know how to harness or utilize that superpower, and they deny it.
Yeah, like I want to ask you a question. So when you were doing stuff with me and we were working together and you would ask me a question and then you would go, wait. You're trying to answer with what your brain is saying, not what your soul is saying. So why do we do that? And secondly, how is the outcome different when we answer with our soul than our brain? Like, why do we go brain first?
We go brain first because we've been taught to go brain first, because the brain is here to keep us in the illusion of safety, because the brain's job is for you not to get eaten by a bear or a dinosaur or a dragon. But since those, I mean, when's the last time you saw a bear?
Or a dinosaur or a dragon.
Right. I live in Morristown, like, granted there's bears, but I haven't seen one, right?
Right.
And even if I did, my house is like 10 feet away, right? Right. And so it's so used to keeping you in the illusion of safety that it doesn't go outside. And so unless you train it to do something else, it's going to go there first, right?
Right.
Unless you train it to follow the heart, it's going to go, mine, let's keep in all this, the safety and all the things. So that's why we're not taught. I mean, listen, if you've ever talked to a kid under 10, okay, because by that time that, you know, all of the programming has been set, right? But if you ever talk to a really young kid and you ask them a question, they will tell you the straightest answer, right? There is no guile, there's no filters, there's just, oh, right? I remember my best friend calling me, I think Eric was 4, and she's like, Eric came home today and there's nothing in his green folder. I was like, what? She goes, from kindergarten or preschool, whatever. They put him in the car and he has this green folder, and the teacher said that there's nothing in Eric's green folder. I was like, well, why? And she goes, the teacher says he chose not to participate today. And I was like, give the kid a gold star. She's like, what? I was like, since he's been a kid, we have asked him to tune in. What do you need? What do you want? What are you sensing? And now he's following it. And there's nothing in his green folder and you're freaking out. Right? Like, we are taught not to be multisensory. We are taught not to tune into our soul. We are taught not to move through life with our knowing. We're taught to move through life with what our brain tells us. Yeah. And our brain is a very good liar.
And what is, so obviously I know there's a whole process that you go through, and I definitely want people to contact you to do that with you. But take us through, like, maybe the first thing or one little quick actionable hit that I think we're in a time, I don't know if you feel the same, but we're constantly making decisions, whether it's like business decisions, or whether it's just like COVID has brought its whole sense of like decision fatigue. And I think because we live in this world where we have a bajillion options and a bajillion things, we just have to, life isn't so simple. We have to make a bajillion decisions. What is the quickest way, especially for someone like me who goes head first all the time, because that's what's probably kept me safe? How do I tap into my soul if I have to make a decision?
So first of all, you use your body's lack of free will to put you in a consciousness where your mind follows your heart. So your body has no free will. If we ask it to raise its hand and everything work, it must comply. It's never going to go, you know what, Jen? I'm not really feeling it today. Why don't you get back to me tomorrow? If everything works, it will comply. So what we do is simply this, Lisa. Divine intelligence, rearrange my central energetic channel so my mind follows my heart.
Say that one more time.
Sure. Divine intelligence, rearrange my central energetic channel so my mind follows my heart. And you can feel a deep sense of breath and like, right? I'm connected. I said it and I was like, oh, that was out of whack. Oh, look, there's that, right? The biggest gift that we have is free will. And free will means this. We have a choice to feel connected to something bigger than us or disconnected. Okay? We're always connected, but we have a choice to feel it or not. Okay, that's what free will is. And so often we're choosing not to feel connected because we're making the external our litmus test of what is true. Where all of this is like some freaky game that we're playing. And it's just stuff we're creating rather than what's really important is the internal, right? So I used to really be in not enough, like so much, Lisa. So much that I would wait in the middle of the night for the refrigerator to go on. Because if the refrigerator stopped, then I would not be safe. Now, there's a big long story to that. My refrigerator died when I had a traumatic episode in my life, and they happened almost instantly. But I would think, oh my God, if the refrigerator stops, I'm not going to be able to afford a refrigerator. Now, listen, refrigerator is like a couple $100s, right? Like not rational, okay? But I would sit there and I would sit there and I would wait for the refrigerator to come on and I would hear it and I would go, so the refrigerator, in this case, was my source to feeling safety. Instead of going, wait, I'm going to be safe no matter what. I can feel that part of me inside that's never been hurt, that knows I'm safe. That's what our essential nature is. That's what our soul is, right? Let me tune into that because the refrigerator is, it's changeable, right? It's made of mechanisms that will falter and die and transform into nothingness, right? But this will never change. This can always be counted on. And so I started to kind of heal the not enough. And one day I realized lying in bed, I hadn't thought about the refrigerator in months. Months. And every time the refrigerator goes on now, I instantly go, oh, look, it's the remembering that I am enough. And I think so often people are searching for the not enough in their lives. So the easiest thing that people can start to do right here, right now, is to ask themselves a simple question. If I knew I was enough, if I knew I was whole and complete, what would I be? What would I do? What would I express here?
What would I be? What would I do? What would I express here?
Here, in this situation, in this moment, in this experience, in this interaction, right? There's so many times that we are having and experiencing things in our own head and not really what life's presenting us with.
Okay, what happens though if your soul tells you something and you're like, there is no way in hell I'm doing that?
Okay. That's resistance between your humanness and your soul. Okay. So let's do, if your soul says, okay, Lisa, it'd be really great if you did a one man, one woman show naked. Okay. And you'd be like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I know.
You simply go, okay, soul, that is really too much for me. What's the first step? What's the first rock, that step, that stone on that path to naked one woman show? Because it's really not about the naked one woman show, right? It's about being in the spotlight, being seen, being safe to be seen, no judgment, feeling amazing in your own skin, right?
Yeah.
So often our soul is going to give us the huge, big picture.
Yeah.
And you go, whoa, I can't do that. I'm not there yet. What's the first step? And I think people are also afraid to talk to their soul because they're going to hear this. Lisa, it's true. You do suck. Your soul is never going to say that, everyone. Your soul is always going to say, oh my God, I love you. You're enough. You're amazing. What do you want to accomplish, right? But people are afraid that they're going to hear their worst thing talking to their soul, and that's not true.
Which is different than when you get quiet, and sometimes, like, I find,
is that a cat dog fight?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. It's kind of funny because when I get on podcasts and things, it's like whatever happens down here happens down here, and whatever happens over there, out there, happens over there in this crazy house.
We're not hearing any human screamings yet, so I think we're good.
No, we're good. For those of you, unless they edit this out, I'm not sure which way this is going to go. I have a new rescue dog with our 2 existing kitties, and the dog is just not quite taken on. The cats are great with the dog. The dog quite isn't sure about the cats yet. So it's been a bit of a challenge keeping them separate and safe, but all is good. All is good. Okay, so sometimes when you get quiet, though, those limiting beliefs become loud, which is why I think people don't want to do it. Like, they don't want to meditate. They don't want to be still. They want to distract themselves with things. That's different than your soul, though.
Yeah. They don't want to be present to moving through that pain and looking at those so they can hear the soul, or being present underneath their soul talking. Listen, first of all, let's talk about meditation, okay? I have warrior nature. Sitting doesn't really work for me. I need moving, walking meditation, right? And so don't allow yourself to be bullied into, oh, everyone needs to meditate. Like, really tune in and see what works for you, okay? Then you can move up if you want to in the own. Second thing is I think people are so used to running from their pain that it creates suffering. So pain is like being way out in the ocean where the waves are just going up and over you. Suffering is you're in where they're crashing. So when you refuse to feel pain, you create suffering. Pain comes up and is released. And I'll give you a perfect example. Roxy, my beloved dog, got hit by a car about a month ago. Big thing. We, me and Warner, agreed to feel it when it comes up and not to stuff it. So it comes up in crazy inopportune times. We feel it, and then we move, and it moves through us, and we can get back to a new shifting. We can get back to neutrality or love or whatever, right? If we were to stuff it, okay, it would lodge in my body, and it would turn to suffering. It would come out in inappropriate ways, either by sickness or anger, or I would blow up at something else because I'm really sad about that, right? So people are afraid to feel pain because they're like, oh my God, if I feel this thing, I will never survive it. Oh my God, I'll just die. It's the suffering that you won't survive, not the pain. And so, and granted, there's pain that's just nuts. I'm not saying this is a fun, like, merry-go-round, but I'm saying if you feel it, it will transmute itself. It will come up again. I will still feel Roxy pain, okay? But I'm not suffering with it every in and every day, and it's not lodged in my stomach or in my belly, or I'm not walking around going, why do I feel so icky and crappy, and why am I mad all the time, right? I'm aware. Oh, and then I get to make choices. And I think so often people limit themselves in what they're capable of doing in their internal landscape, which of course limits their external experience and their manifestation power. Because you're creating with your own energy.
Mm.
So if you're creating based on ickiness and tightness and fear and loneliness, and that's the sandcastle you're going to build. I'm sorry, I just had this image of this not nice sandcastle,
Yeah.
right? And if you're going to create based on neutrality, which is about trust or love or even courage, that's what's going to be reflected back in your experience. And I don't know about you, but I like that side better than I like the icky sandcastle with the worms in it.
Oh, and you see it like it's not a judgment, but it's, we've met people or we've talked to clients or potential clients, and I know I've had that where I've like been very upbeat and happy and I can't wait to get on and hear about this person and I think we're a great fit, and I'm like, hey, how are you, and they're like, well, and this has to work. I'm going to pay this. And I'm like,
yeah, you run screaming from the room.
Whoa. And you're like, wow, I don't even know if you like what you do. And you that's certainly not how you started. You didn't get so dang jaded. Like, where'd you get so darn jaded in the process? We all, like you said, we all experience loss. We all experience grief. We all experience failure. Like, these are human rejection. These are human emotions that we go through, but it's how well are you dealing with them? And I love that phrase, which has always stuck with me. And I've said this a few times on my podcast. You don't have a business problem. You have a personal problem that is spilling over into business.
And that's why in soul language, we identify the personal energy and the business energy, because the business is pure consciousness. It's like this. You have this cake batter of your business, okay? It is cake batter that is designed to be the most beautiful cake ever, okay? You can put in this wonderful, lush chocolate. I'm sorry, I must be hungry. Chocolate, this Nutella, rich cranberries and almonds and all of this great stuff. And this beautiful cake is just gorgeous. Or you can decide to put in worms and crickets and all this other stuff that's going to make the world's ickiest cake.
Yeah.
Your business reacts with what you're putting into it consciously or with struggle. And that's all a personal, how you're utilizing your energy, right? So if you here's a perfect example. So my business energy, how it prefers to go through life, is called the collaborator. It loves to collaborate, okay? Personally, Jennifer, prior to healing, had really bad collaboration, expensive collaborations, like $5,000 contract not signed, had to pay out of my pocket collaborations. So I'm like, great. What do I do with that? I don't want to collaborate. I always have pain. I always have trouble. So talk to the personal soul. The personal soul said, listen, you have to trust your intuition to pick those collaborations. You just weren't listening. Now you get to listen, right? There was all these signs, no judgment. Let's forgive ourselves, right? There were all these signs like, what's the collaboration for you? You kept moving that contract all over your desk. Did you want to check in about that, right?
Yeah.
When I healed that, people would periodically call me. I didn't even know, and say, I want to collaborate with you. The first time it happened, Lisa, I burst out hysterically laughing. I was like, I'm not laughing at you. just laughing at God because look, right? And people are doing this all the time without any awareness. So imagine if you had a little tiny awareness to put into goodness, more declare your goodness into everything. As I always say, with God, business is always good.
I love that because I just think we're at that point where, I mean, this is good for any time in your business. Now, of course, if you're a newbie, you've got to have an offer. You've got, all those big foundational, I don't need to rattle them all off. You know what your foundational business assets are. But I feel like when you're in that transition of not knowing, I think our first gut reaction is to go, I need a business strategist.
Right.
I need a content marketer. I need a website guy. I need a mastermind. And that's why I wanted to have you on, because as I'm going through this shift in my own life, I really want to give a gentle nudge to people to say, have you ever thought about go this route first before you go with another strategy, another community. Now, again, not saying those are not necessary and needed and have their time and place, but I know anytime I've felt this unrest or like that moment where I know I'm doing good things in the world and I know that what I'm doing matters, and I know that I could just wrap it up here and be good for the rest of my life. But then that nudge inside of me goes, oh, no. Oh, no. Right? The comfortable thing would be to say, you're doing good things. Wrap it up, you're done, keep going. The uncomfortable part of me goes, you really want to play? Okay. And when that happens, I'm going more towards my soul language, to my intuition, to what's deep down inside. And then once I have that in check, then if I need a strategist, a mastermind, a coach, a consultant, whatever, then I'm going there. It's back to that. You got to know yourself first, right? So
exactly. And here's another reason why you want to do that. The soul is always saying more love, more abundance, more peace, more. It wants more in a good way. So often, especially people who are starting, okay, they have this weird belief that everyone knows better than they know about what's inside of them. No. And so then they do it by jury, which means like they ask this person and they ask this person and they ask this person and by the time they come to me, they're like, well, so-and-so said this and I should do this and blah, blah, blah. And they're so mixed up that they don't even hear what's going on with their essential nature. And they're so confused until I go, okay, so what's the one thing you want everyone on this planet to know, including yourself? And they'll give the big couple, right? Love, peace, the big ones. And they'll be like, that's too broad. It's like, yeah, that is broad, but it's big. So we need to find your special sauce of that thing. Mm-hmm. And then you come out to find out that they do know all along. But they've been told that, oh, they can't work, or that doesn't work, or they need this, or they need that, or it's got to look like this for marketing, which is a lie. And at the end of the day, people need to know that they can trust themselves, that they can hear themselves and take action on it. Because at the end of the day, your life is your own. And you're not going to be able to fit into anyone else's box, right? One of the things that I got yelled at corporate America was like, I was like, look, why are we trying to make a round box square and a square box round? Why can't we just say this amazing round box or square box? And I think I'm still doing that. Just this whole better delivery system. And then when people know that they're whole and complete, everything just comes out of them like this song. And it allows them to fully express who they are and really for their community to line up, because people have been praying for what you have. And I know people use that in marketing all the time. and I roll my eyes. But what that really means is that the universe has designed you and everything around us for keys and locks, right?
Yep.
So there is someone going, I wish someone would help me to create content marketing that's so soulful and so true to who I am that I feel wonderful sending out my emails or
Yes.
doing a video.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. People always ask me, like, but you're so good and you're so this and you're so that and you don't get this and you don't blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, because I'm just speaking from my heart. Like, I'm not nervous because I know I just have to be myself.
Right.
And I know that if I flub or I say something wrong or the dog starts barking and it's okay.
It all
Okay.
what it is. It's life. You know, the other day I was giving a interview and I was talking about Roxy because it was like, you know, the can-do attitude. It was a great, and I was talking about Roxy and I was like, oh shit, I'm losing my stuff. Like you could hear in my voice, like it was faltering.
Yeah.
And she's like, thank you so much for being vulnerable. I was like, well, there was no other way to go. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to do anything other than be who I am. And I think there's a bunch of support systems out there that are telling people that you can't be who you are.
Yeah.
Soul language goes, you know who you are. Here's the words for it. So you could declare it, accept it, and then put on the t-shirt and go, okay, people, this is me. You're on my bus or you're not on my bus, but it doesn't matter because more people are coming on.
Yeah. My husband always says our train is moving and you're either getting on or you're not. But no matter what, our train is moving. I love that. I know. I love that you said there's no other way to be. I had that same experience with solo theater when I was doing a bit and the coach was like, good job turning on the tears at that moment. And I was like, I didn't turn anything on. I was like, I know you're all trained actors. I'm like, I'm just telling story and being me. And I said, that's the first time that I've ever shared that publicly. And then the other coach was lovely. And she was like, she said something really profound, which I thought was great. She said, a lot of times you are emotional and tears do come up when you're being witnessed for the first time. Yeah. And I thought that was a beautiful thing to say.
Totally beautiful.
I'm not turning on emotions. I'm sharing. And you're right. There's no other way around it. Okay. So how do they get in contact with you? How do they know more about you? Tell them.
So you could go to the website and go soullanguage.us. I have a Facebook group called Spiritual Renegades where I share a lot of tips. I share a lot about what's going on, and there's a lot of really cool people there. So those are the best ways to, and I answer my own email and pick up my own phone. But here's the tip. If you call me, I'm on East Coast time, and this is the only phone I've got. So if you call me and it's 4:00 in the morning, I will answer, but you'll get the high squeaky voice. So just be aware of that.
Okay, I will make sure I put your website, the Facebook group, your email. I don't know about the phone unless you want me to put that. You'll let me know after. But whatever Jen wants me to put in the show notes of how to contact her, I will be sure to put that in there. If you weren't able to stop what you were doing and take notes and write it all down, do not worry. This is an episode that you want to come back to over and over and over again as you need that gentle reminder, but like cut the crap. Let's like see what we need to do here and ways to go back. I just love even that in the beginning. The purpose is not in your doing. We're just always trying to do. And we just need to be with the right coaches and mentors and people that help you be a better version. Bring out that greatness that already is inside of you. Bring out that soul language, your soul. You're not creating your soul. It's already there.
And if you're with a coach, Lisa, that makes you, in William Burroughs' terms, feel like you've lost a quart of plasma, then you should fire that coach. It's just that simple. No one should be, unless you're kind of into that in a weird way, nobody should be paying to be felt like not enough. It doesn't work that way.
No, and I truly believe people know they stay too long. You know, in that first session, you know, in that first interaction, again, your soul, your heart, your intuition, your gut, it knows. And don't be afraid to go, you know what? It might not be, you might not necessarily be a bad person. You're just not my person. And this isn't right for me. So off I go. Jen, thank you so much for this episode. I just love your perspective. I love your insight. I love who you are in this world. And I'm just so excited that we're going to be doing more work together and collaborating more together. And listeners, thank you for being here. I never take lightly your time that you spend. There's so many people and things you can digest and tune into. So really, really want to honor you and thank you for your time. And we'll see you again next time on the Lisa Pezik Show.